Today, we're going to use an example of a grocery store that's saying, hey, city officials, we need help. Portland leaders, we need help. We're getting robbed blind. Our employees don't feel safe. This is how food deserts are created. We are watching one happen in real time. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Portland's Park Rose neighborhood could soon lose one of its only grocery stores. It is 6 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Jeff Gianolo.
And I'm Mia Villanueva. The owner of Grocery Outlet says crime and violence are getting so bad in and around his store, he's considering closing. Our Joey Vaca talked to him today. He has more.
Shoplifting, damaged property, even employees getting assaulted. The store's owner tells me crime in his store is part of the daily routine, and he says the cost of doing business in the area is literally becoming too expensive.
They're willing to fight, to stab you. They pull guns. They're willing to use violence to take goods out of the store.
The owner of Grocery Outlet on Northeast Sandy describing crime that he says is getting worse in the neighborhood. Reported crime stats from the Portland Police Bureau show that in the last year, property crime is up 4% in Park Rose. The same report shows across town.
How many incidents are not being reported? I bet you it's up 25%. Because Portland doesn't have enough police officers. You don't have enough cops. Nobody's calling 911 saying, hey, we got a break-in. They're just not bothering to report anything anymore because they know it's a total time suck and it's a total loser. So the numbers that you see from official sites on this stuff, don't believe any of that.
Total crime hasn't gone up or down from last year, but in the past year, total crime in Park Rose is up 15%. Every outlet. The owner says the incidents get violent.
There was a person, and that person was trying to take a bag of pastries and other things out of the store, and I grabbed the bag to try to get it back. And that person then pulled out, it was a smaller knife, but it was a knife, and stabbed me multiple times in the hand. I've had a gun pulled on me for a $7.99 bottle of wine.
And the crime is literally costing him. McKeever's had his front windows broken, and he says his store's shopping carts are stolen constantly.
We lose 8 to 10 carts a week.
Wow.
$50 a cart.
$3,500 a week. That's insane. Insane.
Very expensive to replace. You need shopping carts to be a serious shopping store. The broken windows, that's tens of thousands of dollars. We lose probably another $10,000 a month just in merchandise.
The crime also costing him employees.
That's a smaller person, male or female, that just don't feel safe, like they can defend themselves, and they see the violent crimes that happen or how we have to escort people out sometimes who were violent somewhere in the store. They just don't feel safe and terminate their position.
We're not just hearing from the store's owner.
Right.
Employees say they don't let the public use the restrooms because of how people damage them. And we talked with a customer who says he works nearby. He's in the store every day, and every time he comes, he sees something happening. McKeever says he's talking with city councilors and the district attorney's office because he wants to see more of a police presence in the area and some kind of change. But ultimately, if that doesn't happen before next summer, he says he'll have to close, maybe as early as the end of this year. In Northeast Portland, Joey Vaca, Coin 6 News.
Brutal. So that's the story. I mean, the guy's saying, hey, I'm getting stabbed in the hand. Granted, it wasn't a gigantic, Bowie knife, but I got stabbed in the hand. Somebody pulled a gun on me for an $8 bottle of wine. They're tearing the restrooms apart. This is drugs. This is crime. Portland has one of the greatest in terms of numbers, homeless populations in the country. And Oregon has the highest rate of mental health care issues that go untreated. So you got crazy people, you got homeless people, you got people whacked out on drugs because you decriminalized drugs and then you recriminalized them. You got progressive leadership, and this is how you end up creating a food desert. The beginning of the story, you heard this is one of the few grocery stores. Well, the owner is screaming, hey, do something. If you guys don't do something, and he's talking to the district attorney, what's that guy going to do? He can't control police having a greater presence. Police don't have the ability to have a greater presence because leadership in Oregon is just absolutely out to lunch. They're progressive. They're progressive. And you've literally got the governor and the mayor of Portland running around saying everything's great. Nothing to see here. Let's Trump-proof Oregon. Let's Trump-proof Portland. Why don't you try and keep your grocery stores open? Instead of no kings, you bunch of numbnuts, why don't you try and reduce crime a little bit? I don't know. I'm just saying, for a friend, right? It's pure insanity, because this guy is out there with a news story. And what does the mayor of Portland, what does he have in his control to be able to positively impact this? Zippo. Zero. Because it's such a long-term process, bringing in the number of cops that you need. And then you've got a criminal legal system in Portland, in Oregon, in all these big progressive cities and states that is based on justice reform. Let's just let everybody run around. I mean, guy's got 45 felony convictions. Let's just put an ankle bracelet on him and hope he shows up in court sometime. And even if they do convict him of something, they're not going to give him any real jail time because, racism. Right? So that's how you create a food desert. And then, everybody's like, oh, we got food desert. Oh, we need to petition the mayor. And you're like, what a bunch of numbnuts. You guys have lost your minds because you're not really watching what's going on. You're putting the same people in office time and time and time again that have the same policies. And this is what their policies do. It drives out business. Before we move on to the other story, I'm going to read for you. Retail thefts surge in these U.S. states. Oregon is, I think, 5th on the list. 941 cases per 10,000 businesses. Oregon is 4th in the United States for highest amount of retail theft. So the story that we just saw is one step before what we're looking at here, which is Bruce Harrell, former mayor of Seattle. Now we've got a communist mayor. It's going to be great. Get out that popcorn. And I'm not ending the program right now, but make sure you're subscribed, because with a communist mayor in Seattle, it's going to get spicy. So subscribe, hit that notification bell. Harrell orders city to tackle food deserts after Lake City Fred Meyer closure. Now, Lake City is in Seattle. It's in an area that's had just a ton of shoplifting, crime, homelessness, drugs, prostitution, you name it. It's kind of one of those outer areas from downtown where the homeless have gone, they flock to, and the commercial has just been decimated. So Kroger decided, you know what? We got to cut some grocery stores down. They were going to have a big merger with Albertsons, I think it was. Didn't happen because legal system said, it's anti-competition. Therefore, we're not going to allow this sale to go through. So Kroger said, all right, we're taking a look at all of our stores here. And it's not just shoplifting that we're talking about. It's safety issues. And the safety issues we heard literally from our dude there in Parkland, or Rose City, was, hey, I got stabbed. I had a gun pulled on me. That's not normal. That's not normal. And when you have enough incidents like that where something actually happens, a little bit harder to get insurance, right? Guy's front windows got bashed in, probably did insurance on that because it was so expensive. But all of these factors are on top of Portland, Oregon having some of the highest taxes in the country. So you've already got super expensive stuff. You got a bunch of Looney Tunes running around. You don't have enough police protection. And even if there was enough police protection, you've got a head-up-ass judicial system, which means they basically just let the crazy Looney Tunes run around on the streets. Literally, we've podcasted crazy mental people on drugs in downtown Portland, chasing people around with knives, no shirt on, for days. Literally for days. And then the police department goes, maybe we should de-escalate this situation and arrest that guy. And you're like, okay, yeah, I think so too. But this situation you're seeing right here is the step before. Harrell orders city to tackle food deserts after Lake City Fred Meyer closure. Now, you damn well Kroger has said to the city council, and Kroger, all the businesses have said to their city council members, to their, mayors, to whomever they can, like the owner of our story, It said, hey, talking to the DA, what's the DA going to do? How is he going to make your specific location safer? He's not. He's not. Your host. Same thing in Seattle. This is what happens. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell announced a new executive order Tuesday because he's playing catch up. Oh, they closed our store down and now we've got a food desert. Got to do something. Executive order doesn't really open up any new stores, does it? No. An executive order Tuesday aimed at improving access to groceries and medicine across the city following the recent closure of the Fred Meyer store. So literally, he doesn't have the ability to do much either. I actually think Bruce Harrell has done a decent job, and he's done a fantastic job in comparison to the job that our new mayor is going to have, because she is wildly unqualified and is a communist. So, I'm sure that's going to work out well. Let's get some of these city-run grocery stores. I need some podcasts about that. That's going to be fantastic. The order directs city departments to take a multi-pronged approach to combat food deserts, neighborhoods where residents lack easy access. Why are they lacking easy access to affordable, healthy food and pharmacies? Because they're closing down because of shoplifting, because of safety issues. It's not that hard to figure out, folks. But in the big blue liberal cities, in the big blue liberal states, they allow this to happen because of justice reform, right? You got a bunch of numbnut policies that create a situation where you've got drug communities stealing from stores because it's so liquid to take that whatever you steal from the grocery store and sell it. Got all these open air drug markets, right? Sell it, get your money for your fentanyl, and away you go. Rinse, repeat every single day. And that's how you have thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars shoplifted. And then at night, you got people whacked out on drugs, on meth, and they take a hammer and they bash a window in and, let's go in and take some groceries so they can get their next fix. Because decriminalizing hard drugs was, a genius concept not that long ago, along with defund the police. And these are the end results of what you're seeing there. This Fred Meyer at Lake City Way Northeast closed this month, leaving the Lake City area with limited grocery options. Yeah, limited? Not good. Not good. North Seattle neighborhood braces for closure of main grocery store. Whenever I see these stories, you got to feel bad for the local residents who just kind of live in a bubble. They just say, I don't know why my grocery store closed. I do see people shoplifting, and I did get accosted in the parking lot. I got some stuff stolen from my car. Yeah, you live in a high crime area. You live in an area where you got a bunch of whacked out drug addicts, got a bunch of whacked out homeless people that are drug addicts. They're stealing from the store. There's safety issues. And if you're living in an area that is overregulated and has safety problems, which our main store here in Portland does, when corporate takes a long look at their list and says, where can we reduce our liability and where can we cut stores that aren't making the profit we need them to because of shoplifting? Now, the ones that have the worst stats, they're going to get whacked. And that's why this one here got whacked, because of overregulation, safety issues, and it was being stolen from 10 ways from Sunday. And then the mayor comes out, do food desert. And you're like, okay. That's a little reactionary, isn't it? Instead of being proactive, hey, maybe we don't allow criminals to run the streets. I was literally up, we're talking about Lake City here, North Seattle neighborhood. I was in the Northgate area, which is just to the west of kind of Lake City area, to the south and west. I was in a mini mart. I think it was an AM, PM, an Arco. And right before I had dinner with some friends up in that area, and because they live there. And it was a rough mini mart. I mean, you had just a bunch of whacked out homeless people waiting for the bus. You had a lady in an outfit that was, 3-4 sizes too small, and she was not young, or she was, lost most of her teeth from meth, and she was working on the streets, and, these guys are just kind of wandering around the parking lot, typical drug scene. And you just got all kinds of crime. And people don't want to necessarily shop where there's all kinds of crime. And when you got people just shoplifting all day long. This is what happens. Stores close, food desert. And then the constituents go, what happened? Well, you voted for politicians who allowed this to happen repeatedly over and over and over and over again. You know where you don't see food deserts? In most of Texas. Interesting. That's weird. Why is that? Yeah. I don't know. But the food desert, and that's a term that I hadn't really, kind of recognized existed until I started podcasting. And I'm like, desert? Why is there a desert? Oh, because all the stores have already closed down because of crime, because of conditions, because of lack of profitability, because of expenses have gone to the moon. You put all that together, and that's how you get a food desert. Yeah. Wild stuff. I mean, we're watching it happen in real time, and this has been ongoing. Anytime you got terrible public policy, which you do in Portland, I mean, we've shown that, how many different angles can we say that Portland, Oregon is effed? The crazy thing about Portland is I always root for Portland because it is geographically such a beautiful, beautiful area. You got rivers, you got the mountains, you got forests, you got the ocean. I mean, it's stunning, stunning. And that is some of what's so difficult is Seattle's had such a stunning fall. Oregon has had such a stunning fall, and California. I mean, California dreaming, right? Ain't there anymore. All right. Again, make sure you're subscribed. We're going to be talking about this more because guess what? This isn't getting better. It's getting worse. Get out the popcorn. Let's go. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.